It's time for business news now, and I'm joined here by Stephen Carroll. Stephen, lovely to have you with us.
Thanks, Anna.
You're kicking off with a major fine or two for German car makers from the European Union.
The BMW and Volkswagen groups have been fined €875 million for colluding on the development of anti-pollution technology for diesel cars. The European Commission found what is called illegal agreements between the companies to limit the introduction of agents used to reduce harmful emissions. Another car maker, Daimler, was spared a fine as it had alerted Brussels to the issue. This investigation was launched after the Dieselgate scandal at Volkswagen, when the company admitted to using emissions test cheating software on 11 million cars worldwide. Let's hear from the EU Commission's Vice President, Margrethe Vestager.
These car manufacturers illegally colluded to restrict competition in the area of emission cleaning technologies for diesel cars. This is the first time that the Commission finds that cooperation on technical elements, as opposed to price fixing or market sharing for that matter, amounts to cartel behavior. All companies acknowledge their participation in the cartel and agreed to settle the case.
Let's stay with the motor industry now, and Lamborghini has unveiled what will be its last supercar that's powered only by fossil fuels. The next generation of V12 cars will be plug-in hybrids. For more on this, let's go to Italy, where we can speak to Lamborghini's chief executive, Stefan Winkelmann. Stefan, thanks for being with us today. I want to talk to you about this move to electric that you've got going on at Lamborghini. But can I ask you, first of all, just with that news coming from Brussels today, does that sort of decision damage the industry's reputation at a time that it's moving towards more electric cars?
I can speak for Lamborghini. We always had a good run in the last years. We are investing heavily into the new technology. The first step is hybridization between the year 23 and 24. And we are moving forward in the second half of this decade to have our first full electric car. So we're investing more than half, 1.5 billion euro into the plug-in hybridization, and then even more when it comes to full electric cars. So I think we're very well prepared. And we had very good years in Lamborghini in this last decade. So we are looking forward to further develop this brand in terms of awareness, image, and also financial results.
How much of a change is that shift to hybrid and electric for your production lines, being a relatively small car maker?
Well, we always have an interruption at the end of one product and the beginning of the new model. This is normal, and it will not take more time than it took before when we had the change from combustion engine to another combustion engine. As I said, we will keep, or as you said, we will keep the combustion engines. The Aventador is now with the ultimate, the last of a kind of only an internal combustion engine on the V12 base. We are going to produce 600 cars. This will last until the year 2022, and then in 23 we will launch our first hybrid car, still with the V12, a new car with a new V12 and with the plug-in hybrid technology.
Will an electric V12 engine still have the feeling of a supercar for those lucky enough to drive one?
Yeah, it will, because one of the things we always promise and we have to keep for sure is that every generation which is following has to be better than the previous one. The sound, the emotion of the V12 will stay also in the new car, but with the benefit of reducing the CO2 emissions.
What has happened to demand for your cars during the pandemic? We can imagine perhaps some people weren't as keen to invest in a Lamborghini over the past year.
Yes, after the lockdown in March, April, which were hitting all of us and also our supply chain and our partners around the world, the dealers, the demand came back very strongly. People had enough time to think about their lives, staying at home. to go online, and also to reward themselves. And in fact, we had a very good year in 2020, and the first half of the year 2021 is incredibly high as results, and we have an order bank which is covering 10 months of production.
One of the things in the past that Lamborghini has talked about is limiting their production to keep it exclusive. Is that something that you're looking to maintain for the brand?
Yeah, for sure. We always will produce less than demand, and the fact that we have an order bank of 10 months is exactly in this line. We are increasing production. We have to level the three major regions we are providing, so North America, Europe, the Middle East and Africa, and Asia Pacific. And this balance we are going to keep also in the future. It's clear that the volume rise if we have more models stepping in, but it will always be a very exclusive brand, and we want to keep it like this.
Okay, Stefan Winkelmann from Lamborghini, thank you very much for speaking to us on France 24. Let's take a look at what's happening on the markets next for you. European shares down sharply this lunchtime. The CAC in Paris down over 2% a short time ago. This is following a slump in Asian shares earlier over fears of increased regulation of technology companies there. Investors also keeping an eye on a strategy review at the European Central Bank that's just been published. It's seen policymakers raise their inflation target to 2% with some tolerance for moves above that. Next, Google facing fresh legal action in the United States. Dozens of states and the District of Columbia have filed an antitrust lawsuit against the technology giant, saying it operates an illegal monopoly with its Google Play App Store. It claims the company is blocking competition for app downloads through contracts and technical barriers. This legal action follows 2 years of investigation by states into the tech giant. In a statement, Google described the move as strange, saying their app system provides more openness and choice than others. This complaint mimics a similarly meritless lawsuit, the company says, filed by the large app developer Epic Games. It's just the latest legal action targeting Google. The US Justice Department has also launched an antitrust suit over its search engine business. Sana.
One legal action after another. Thank you so much, Stephen Carroll, our Senior Business Editor.